Hey, Rick at that.
All right. This drink pretty good. Most of the time, we're gonna say people they'll inquire or concern themselves with you. And most people claim that they don't have ulterior motives. And I believe in such thing as being just benevolent. But when people come around and I would say propose some type of exchange with you, and you come into agreement with whether or not you're gonna go or come into exchange with whatever person's energy. Me, I don't know, I have a mind that accelerates. It's not really hard to explain, but it'll be a little extensive on me explaining how I assess things. And genuinely, I'm just being productive. I'm always just trying to service someone in the moment. And although sometimes I may not be able to provide the currency of just tangible money, I still have the currency of energy that I expend just like an everyday exchange of money. And in doing so, I don't know, in that endeavor, I'm already registering how a person interpretation of this exchange will be. And the only reason why I'm saying this is because I'm at this point in my life where I gradually just embody the happening in life, right? And I only do what's naturally necessary in order to move forward or progress. But in the process of doing so, I try my best to try to articulate myself a lot better than I did before, you know? And man, like, using my time, my energy to occupy many different spaces or designations in the universe or in time and space, I find myself questioning whether or not it's even worth the while just servicing a person in an area they're not nowhere near even conscious of, they're not even aware of. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, God, I don't even want to waste my energy servicing a person in an area they know not. But it's just like naturally in me to do whenever I'm applying myself to every moment. So it's like there's a lot of things that are not seen by even the intuitive eye or with the person's psyche that I may be aiding and assisting in. And I find myself I guess right into God in a way that is so far beyond the mental capacity of humanity, to where yes, me and God have this specific type of language, but I find myself like exchanging with God at a volume that I wish a person could participate or really comprehend or join me in on, you know? And it's like, man, like spiritually, I'm so mature to the point to where, well, I find myself in that state of maturity to where I have the ability to perform, right? In a domestic way, but be totally attached. In the average circumstances that, you know, we participate in life, you know, and although a person may be executing themselves or expressing themselves in a matter, in a specific way, me, I may reenact, should I say, or just express myself in the same formality, but the language is different. So whenever like I can do or say or I can execute some things in a way that is accelerated far beyond what a person would actually be expressing when they express it. And I know I said this in many different ways, but I'm only saying that to say that I'm at this state of maturity where a person may perform something with I could say that a person may have a difficulty in an area of doing something. May say like cursing, or what a person would call a sin, right? And an average person would be binded within the constraints of a custom and a belief, right? Where they're operating within a domestication or a form of domestication that imprisons them, and I would say constricts them from being, imprisons them in a way to where it actually takes a toll on their emotional responses and how they go about life, right? And fear and guilt will take hold of an individual in the midst of them performing certain things, right? But I'm at a point where I had to step outside or beyond the form or the societal norm of things, in a sense, in order for me to extract the absoluteness or the authenticity of I guess the raw meat of a circumstance, or just extracting the truth about something. You know what I'm saying? Or the most accurate information that I could get from that situation. You know, and I think that even when sometimes I might have to. All right, this is the best scenario or explanation I could give, right? Or analogy, should I say, right? Where, let's say, espionage, right? Say I might carry a moral, right, or a principle that I'd rather not compromise, right? But this moral and principle I actually uphold for real, right? But in a survival situation, I may have to perform or operate or function outside of the aspect of what my principles and morals are. You know what I'm saying? In order for me to gain a better standing or position in life, or to overcome a circumstance or an endeavor. Say I may be in a situation where things are so, or I'm caught in a shrewd or crafty or a real complex situation where it takes a little bit more of my mental in order to actually organize and decipher what's really actually going on. You know what I'm saying? And in the midst of having to do that, it may require me to perform an aspect of espionage in order to, you know, get the right information that I need. And getting to this point where now I'm able to, God has allowed me to function and operate in an absolute way, right? And still have the core of me intact, right? Where I'm not sabotaged by guilt, shame. I'm not binded by the measures of loss and failures and wins or losses. You know what I'm saying? And having to operate outside of that in order for me to gain or progress to a greater aspect of my life has brought me to this point to where I'm out going about life kind of hoping and praying or seeking, not even so much as seeking, but I have my eye out on an individual or people that carry this form of maturity. You know what I'm saying? And God, like, I mean, it's certain fragments or aspects I find in women, and also it's kind of like a rare thing. I find it in men because sometimes men have to become so detached in order to provide for their family. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes, but a woman too, but it's only to a degree. And the way it's utilized is in a more, I would say, manipulative way. In a more like I think the ego, it's in a more like domesticated way to where a person really has a different type of incentive on why they execute in that way. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to share that I'm at this point where I'm acknowledging the type of people that, you know, I'd rather relate to. I'd rather come into an exchange with outside of idle talk, outside of just liabilities. You know what I'm saying? And assessing these things, and it's not like it's like it's a standard now, and it's not being uppity or as if I'm better. It's just more like I'd rather invest myself in a more reciprocated way. You know what I'm saying? Where I am not just expending myself. Benevolence is a beautiful thing, yeah. But I think the self-preservation is taking a little bit more substance in who I am. And now it's like, I ain't really got time for the, it's like, dang, man, I'm like, see a woman, come across a beautiful woman, and I'm like, God, okay, yeah, she has the potential, right? Or a woman really performs her form of intellect, and it becomes attractive, and I'll engage, and I'll come to find that a lot of people are intellectual masturbators for real, but sometimes I find a lot of ego in it, and then it kind of turns me off. Or I might find a woman who they're more logical than they are really possessing a real spiritual wisdom. You know what I'm saying? And man, it's like, God, I'm like, why you made me this way? You know what I mean? Because the things that I could actually do if I had a true alliance for real, you know what I'm saying? With people that can actually relate to the information I possess, you know? But it's kind of extensive letter or video, and I just want to go ahead and end it here because I can keep going about this, and it might be a part 2 to this, man. Yeah, just stay tuned. Till next time, man.